Bienvenido to another episode of Oswego Sports Update. I'm Blaze Hill. LeBron James scored 61 points tonight on 67% shooting. Adam, what's your career high?
Well, in 8th grade, I had 13 on the road and hit the buzzer to win, but there was no threes in modified. Well, we're back here at OSU with the best sports banner around, including the state of Tiger Woods and the NHL trade deadline.
And the men's and women's ice hockey teams are still alive in their respective conference tournaments. We've got breakdowns and predictions here right for you right now on OSU.
You're watching
Oswego
Sports
Update.
Upset fashion, the men's ice hockey team did it again. For the second straight Saturday in a row, the Lakers went into Plattsburgh and defeated their rival, this time by a score of 2-1. It was an all-around team effort, and as expected, the freshman Matt Zawadzki was between the pipes for Oswego. Last week, we both agreed this team is getting hot at the right time. So, Adam, the question on everyone's mind remains, can the Lakers pull off one more upset and bring home the SUNYAC championship from Geneseo?
You said it right there, Blaze. This team is hot, and they beat a great Plattsburgh team in this SUNYAC twice in 2 weeks. That's something, you know, you're playing your best hockey when you're doing things like that. It's two big games, both on the road, I might add, in the SUNYAC. They dropped a few tough games to Geneseo during the year. Geneseo doesn't have the championship experience that Oswego has, the defending champs in the SUNYAC. They haven't won one since 05-06.
Yeah, Adam, you know, my biggest beef with this team all year, especially in the spring, was how inconsistent they were.
Yeah.
They're dropping games that they should be winning big time. But I can't argue with them now. You know, Plattsburgh, those 2 wins on the road, those are absolutely huge. Do I like Oswego to go into Geneseo and get this victory? Yeah, I definitely do. But I'm a little bit of a superstitious sports fan, and I've been riding them hard. So I'm gonna stay back, and I'm gonna say that, you know, this certainly isn't theirs just yet. I think they got to keep Zawadzki in goal. Geneseo's a good team. They lost to Geneseo twice, so I think they definitely got that going. Adam, we know it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one game.
Yeah, they lost to Geneseo twice, but they let 5 goals in the second period in their 4-7 loss, and 3 goals in the first period in their 2-3 loss.
And they scored first in that 2-3 loss.
2 bad periods really kind of knocked them down. They play good 3 periods of hockey. They get another SUNYAC championship on the road in Geneseo.
They've got to stay consistent. They've got to come out hot, and they've got to stay that way. Geneseo is a great team, and when their opponent scores first, so if the Lakers are going to score first, which I think they need to, they got to D up, and they got to keep the pedal to the gas.
Playoff time, and we're not stopping on the ice with the men's team. After a convincing 3-1 playoff win, the Oswego State women's ice hockey team will travel to the Conference Final Four in Plattsburgh to take on second-ranked Elmira. Blaze, talk about what you liked this weekend and what they have to do for berth in the ECAC title game.
Well, Adam, first of all, there wasn't a whole lot to like until the 3rd period this past Saturday. The Lakers were taking good shots for 60 minutes, but they didn't really come alive until the 3rd period. When they entered that 3rd period, they were down 1-0. They scored 3 goals, all within minutes each other. But I'm a little concerned for this team right now because Buff State, a not very good Buff State team, the 6th-seeded team in the ECAC West, only 4 wins in conference all season. Buff State dominated them defensively. Now, they're going into a weekend where they have to play Elmira. If by some chance they beat Elmira, they have to play Plattsburgh. Those are the 2 best defensive teams, not only in the ECAC West, but in the entire country. So the Lakers got absolutely dominated. My advice for them would be to score early and then D up. Clog up in front of that net and do not let a goal on, and you got to score first. I think their best strategy is going to be hold them 0-0 in the first period, steal one in the second period. Maybe it's going to have to be a lucky garbage goal. Elmira is that good defensively.
But they can hang with this Elmira team. In the 2 games they played, they lost 2-5 and a game in overtime.
A game in overtime. It was at home, though.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned they're going on the road.
They let 2 in early, and in the second period they scored. They scored first in the second period, and so they got to play through that. But I like the balance on this team with their 2 top scorers, 12 assists, and the top goal scorer has 11 goals. So good balance up there. They're getting the puck, passing it well, getting the back of the net.
And it's a senior-led team. There are a lot of seniors on this team. It's one of the best classes that this team's ever seen. They've been here for half the program's life. There's definitely a lot. You know, you could definitely make a strong case for it. They're going to have to play the games of their lives because Elmira is really that good. You know, number 2 in the conference, number 2 in the country. Oswego definitely has an uphill battle because then, as you mentioned, Adam, even if they beat Elmira, they still have to go and then beat Plattsburgh at home in the championship game. So it's an uphill battle, but you know, certainly not out of the realm of possibility. We've seen crazier things. But now moving on to the hard court, the men's basketball team saw their season come to an end in Brockport Saturday night. Despite beating the Golden Eagles in McZeel earlier this year, the Lakers' offense never really got its full stride as they lost 77-56. Brockport is one of the best teams in the SUNYAC, even without injured Conference Player of the Year hopeful John Ivey. It was a year of ups and downs for this team. Adam, what will you remember most about this year's Lakers squad?
Well, we break down their statistics in the SUNYAC, and they weren't all that bad. They were 6th in scoring, but 2nd in defense. So they were a good defensive team. They weren't out there scoring. They didn't have the Hayden Warrens, the Shawn Michaels, but they did have Dan the Man Ross, who was a crucial asset to this team. Great ball player. We saw him in transition so many times, get to the hoop very nicely. But look at this. Last in the SUNYAC in three-point field goal percentage. 29%, the only team in the SUNYAC under 30%. That was crucial this year, and that hurt them in some of the games where they lost by 1 or 2 points. A couple threes could have made the difference.
And certainly probably not something Coach Leone was expecting headed into the year, because Oswego, as we've seen through our careers here at Oswego, Adam, they've historically been one of the better three-point shooting teams in the SUNYAC. So that definitely hurt them. And ultimately, once we saw Brian Sortino go down this year, all the load was really thrown upon Dan Ross. And it's not that, he couldn't handle it, because he was, doing everything he could, but it just came down to the Lakers couldn't find that consistent bench or role player, and that's why we saw them struggle to score. They were only able to score 56 against Brockport this past
So many
weekend.
good players coming back, too.
Absolutely.
Powell and Sortino both averaging double figures. We'll be back next year.
Watch out for Keith Tyson.
Watch out, yeah. Good team coming up.
Yeah.
All right, as the winter sports season is almost done, and they're at their end, your favorite moment of this jam-packed winter season, Blaze?
Well, I'm only going to go, I wasn't here in the fall, so I'm only going to base this off my spring experience.
Yep.
So based on that, the men's hockey team slumped a little bit in the early part of the spring semester, so not a lot to choose from there. Definitely a great win from Fredonia to choose from this past week. I'm also looking at home games because, we're around campus, you kind of get the feel for it. Not a lot to choose from women's basketball. And I got a feeling you're going to go men's basketball. So I'm going to take women's hockey. They had a 6-game win streak this semester. It ultimately came to an end when they lost 2 games to Plattsburgh, but they played tough in. And then, that 3-1 victory against Buff State, that was really something special to watch.
Yeah, you're going women's hockey. I'm definitely going
Am I
men's
right?
basketball.
I knew it.
Senior
Nothing wrong
night
with that.
in Max Zeal against Cortland. Dan Ross had 26 points with a sick and 1 layup. I was on the call. It was a great night. Good way to cap the career, even though I had 2 more games after that on the call with, and Oswego won. So.
And I think we'll both agree our runner-up definitely probably goes to that Brockport upset that they pulled off in their last home game of the year.
Good overall, and they made a good push to the end of the season.
Yeah, they definitely did. Definitely a great season. But that's not all the Oswego sports coverage we've got for you tonight. Our athlete of the week is here and ready to talk with Dan North about his game-winning goal against Plattsburgh, as well as his team's chances in the SUNYAC Finals against Geneseo on Saturday night. You might know who he is, but hey, we're not going to make it that easy on you. You got to stick around to find out. This is OSU.
Every night before the show, me and the guys, we like to loosen up a little bit. Blue, 42, hike! Every now and then, Dan likes to take it a little too far. But hey, the show's all about competition, so we'll take it.
Stupid Dan with stupid football and stupid running.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
So what sets the Rundown apart from other newscasts is that it brings students together to voice their opinions on the world's most important political issues.
There seems to be just more events going on in 2012 than there were in previous years combined.
This nation is based on the foundation that we choose the government.
Do we use 1, 2, and 3? We work hard to bring you the most up-to-date, relevant coverage of the stories you should be following. The country has now gone over the fiscal cliff.
Is gun control necessary? How much is too much?
Does it surprise you that it's taken this long to have a serious talk about gun control? Students need to realize that this is the time when what's going on in Capitol Hill and around the world starts to affect them.
And really, the fate of the entire country is at hand here.
This is it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go camera 2.
Good evening and welcome to The Rundown. I'm Megan Roberts.
Welcome back to Oswego Sports Update. Dan North is over at the round table with our athlete of the week. Let's say hello to men's ice hockey forward Josh Timpano. Danny, take it away.
Thanks, Blaze. Like you said, I'm here with Josh Timpano. Josh, thanks for joining us here on OSU, man.
Yeah, nice to be here.
So, you know, going to Plattsburgh, beat them 2-1. First of all, how does it feel to score your first career goal and then have it be the game-winning goal in the SUNYAC semifinal?
It was crazy. I mean, it's the best feeling. I mean, beating them first place in their own barn, that atmosphere is unbelievable. I don't know. I just can't describe it.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, game-winning goal in Plattsburgh. You know, huge rival, and you've played really well here in the postseason against Fredonia. You assisted Barton on the game-winning goal, and then Barton assists you in the game-winning goal against Plattsburgh. You know, how comfortable and confident do you feel just about your game right now?
I mean, getting games in really helps. I mean, I've played probably 5 straight now, and playing is keep going as you go along. You get better, more confidence. So I think me and Barton and Yorkie have all been kind of clicking together lately.
Right. And, you know, as a freshman, heading into the SUNYAC final, riding a 4-game win streak, you guys have found yourselves a lot of team chemistry here. Like I said, 4-game win streak. And you guys have had consistent lines, which is big. You know, we saw a lot of line changes throughout the year. How does it feel to have some consistency and, you know, you guys are finally getting things together now?
I mean, like, we've had some injuries that's why there's been some changes. But, I mean, now that players have started trying to get lines together, some chemistry going really helps. I mean, you can see how we're playing lately. It feels good.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And, you know, as a freshman, like I said, you guys have, you know, the captains and upperclassmen going on the road here for the last 2 games in the playoffs. You know, have they given you any advice here in the postseason?
They just kind of tell us to stay level-headed and kind of play our game. I mean, the whole team knows that we're kind of trying to do this for them because it's their last time for them to get to the finals again and make it their last shot.
Right. And this is the first time in 8 years you guys have lost to Geneseo, both twice in the year. And the first loss, of course, here in the Campus Center Ice Arena, a 4-7 loss. And then the second one, a close one, 2-3. You know, what do you guys look to do different here in the finals?
I thought the second game that we played actually really well. Just our bounce, the bounce didn't go our way. The first game we had a bad period. I think they scored 5 or 6 goals in one period. I think just got to play our game, and I think we can come out on top for sure.
Awesome. And 11-3 on the road this year, better than your home record, which is surprising. Campus Center Ice Arena, you know, known for the whiteout, the crazy games. Why do you guys think you've been so successful on the road this year?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, guys, they get fired up sometimes playing in different barns and different atmospheres, and you never know.
Awesome. And take a step off the ice really quick. What do you like to do in your free time when you're not out there skating?
I used to play basketball. I mean, I'm not the tallest guy, and I mean, I'm kind of gritty, so I used to get fouled out a lot, but that was what I used to do in my spare time a lot.
Awesome. Hey, after the season's over, Adam and I go over to Lee Hall, play a little basketball. You know, you can come over, get on our intramural team. Anyways, thanks for joining us, Josh.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Good luck this Saturday in Geneseo. And a lot of storylines have surfaced since we last saw you just 7 days ago. We will do our best to let you know what just happened. This is OSU.
G-morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me back. Hey, did you tell your parents about us? Let's skip first period together. Did you get all my texts? Is practice over yet? Where are you at? Are you with your friends? That's L-A-A-A-A-M-M-E-E-E. Capital X, lowercase o, capital X, lowercase o. I love you. JK, I hate you. JK. Are you ignoring me? We're in a huge fight right now. Is this something I did? I can see your lights on. I'm coming over. What'd you dream about? Me? I'm lonely. Holla back. Holla back. Let's try something new. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Hi, we're Real Big Fish.
And you're watching WTOP 10.
Like the number.
Welcome back. Let's send it over to Dan, the man north. We had some topics up for grabs. Dan, what you got?
All right, Adam, let's check it out. The NFL is looking into banning the N-word on the playing field. If the rule took effect, players would be penalized 15 yards if they use the word. Super Bowl champion Richard Sherman says it's, quote, an atrocious idea. What's your guys' take?
Yeah, I don't like this really at all, that it's even getting publicity. Why did the NFL think they would have to do it? I've never really heard of a complaint in the NFL why this would be happening. There's no players coming out complaining they're being called it or anything like that. They're grown men out there playing a game, and I don't know why society needs to have this rule. This shouldn't be a problem anyway. It kind of brings it back to the gay athlete debate we had last week. Speaking of the media, I just got an update during that interview on my phone about Jason Collins entering a basketball game. So the things that we're putting too much attention on, that should just be obvious.
I certainly don't have a problem with there being a rule, against it. It's good for the game, keep it fair, keep race totally out of the picture in the NFL. But Adam, you bring up a good point. The only time I've ever heard of it being an issue is I think Riley Cooper, on wide receiver on the Eagles, was the only player I could think of off the top of my head who was really, fine.
And it wasn't a game. He wasn't
exactly
call someone in a game.
And my concern is, how will it be enforced? Because at what point does it become a he said, she said thing where a player goes up to the ref and says, ref, he just said this. Does the ref throw the flag, or does the ref say, I don't believe you? That can become a
People
touchy
call
topic.
Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman thugs.
Exactly.
And the
Those
thugs,
rules are going to be tough to enforce.
A thug, really, So
where do we draw the line? Exactly, Adam. Good point. Danny.
Tiger Woods, one of the most physically fit golfers in the world, was playing better heading into Sunday in the Honda Classic. Tiger was 5 over through 13 holes of play, and only 5 holes remaining. Tiger withdrew from the tournament reportedly due to back problems. It seems like this is a reoccurring theme for Woods, and I think fans are starting to get sick of it. Guys, what is the state of Tiger Woods?
Well, guys, the man is 38 years old. His body has certainly seen better days. I don't think anybody can argue that. Listen, here's the thing. Do I like Tiger? Yes. Do I want to see Tiger win? Absolutely. I enjoy watching him win. I think he's a great competitor, and I think he brings out the best in the sport, and he's great attention, for the sport. Definitely brings in a lot of viewers, and any golf fan, you, Dan, myself included, you want to see golf get a lot of publicity. So I love Tiger. I want to see him win. But I don't think fans should be getting upset, just because Tiger withdraws because of an injury. I mean, I hope he figures it out quick because, like I said, it's good for the sport. But, I don't think there's any reason for the fans to be getting upset because he withdraws.
Don't give up on him yet. I mean, and people better not think he's exiting these tournaments because he's playing bad. Because he's definitely not doing that. He is the best competitor sports has ever seen.
And we've seen
in
that.
my eyes. And coming in other than Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods is up there. Change sports in general. He's not going to.
There's no doubt
he's not going to quit a tournament because he's hurt and can't play.
Exactly.
He's getting better. It's because he swings so hard. Yeah, that's probably what has something to do.
We've seen him too. He's the type of player who
going
into the back nine, he'll be down 4 strokes, and he still has that look like I can still win this.
But he loves practicing.
Exactly.
He loves getting out there, so he'll fix it. He'll be back. Tiger's back.
Possibly highlighting the moves made at the NHL trade deadline, Ryan Miller was dealt from the Buffalo Sabres to the St. Louis Blues. Which trade are you guys most impressed with?
That's really the only big one, and the only
a
notable
lot,
one really in the
right
NHL, and especially being near the Western New York as a Sabres fan myself, a lot of focus has been into this trade, and I think I'm not mad at it. If as a Sabres fan, you go in, think of Miller probably has about 5 years left of being a good, dominant goalie in the NHL. The Sabres aren't going to be a Stanley Cup contender in 5 years. They're on a total rebuilding. So get Ryan Miller out of there, let him have a chance to win somewhere else, and just keep building.
And from an outside fan standpoint, I don't really have an interest in either team. I think, so when I look at a trade, I look, are both teams benefited by this? St. Louis, this puts them into a legitimate contender in the West. Some people are calling them a Stanley Cup contender with Miller, one of the best, if not the best goalie in the NHL. They're now a contender, so it certainly benefits them right now because Miller was really, for lack of a better way to put it, he was being wasted away on the Sabres roster. The Sabres are not a great team right now. Certainly, you could argue they could build around it, but I think with this trade, they get a couple young studs, they get a couple picks in the future, things like that. So the Sabres are building for the future. It benefits them long term, and it benefits St. Louis right now.
Enroth is starting goalie for Buffalo. He's deserved it. He's earned his minutes. Silver medal winner. Enroth, he deserves to start for Buffalo.
Definitely a fair point. All right. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about the Honda Classic and even discuss some new sports jerseys we'll see in the calendar year of 2014. All this and more when we return. This is OSU.
Naked Cowboy, coming to a town near you. You're watching WTOP TV 10, Oswego, New York. I'm Naked Cowboy.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those hands.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Every night before the show, me and the guys, we like to loosen up a little bit. Blue, 42, hike! Every now and then, Dan likes to take it a little too far. But hey, the show's all about competition, so we'll take it.
Stupid Dan with stupid football and stupid running.
Welcome back. Hey, Dan, what's more attractive, Mai Tai or Blazes?
It's a really close call, but I'm gonna have to go with Blaze. He kind of matches me. He's got a little bit of swagger going on there, and I got plenty more. What's more questions for you right here? Going back to the Honda Classic, besides Tiger's withdrawal, there was a four-way playoff match which was going on between Rory McIlroy, and he seemed to fall apart in it. Russell Henley came out on top. Yes, Russell Henley. What's more shocking to you guys, Henley's W or McIlroy's collapse?
First of all, thank you, Dan. I love your tie as well. Definitely that Rory collapse. I think that's the story here. They're both 24. They're both young, talented golfers. But I think the story here is that a top 10 golfer in the world and someone who, not to his Tiger standpoint, but we expect him to compete and finish, be in contention. And certainly he was in contention, but we saw him collapse. Top 10 players in the world, Adam, they're not supposed to collapse.
Well, I'll say it's happened to Rory before. The Masters. He's collapsed
Just because
before.
It's happened before doesn't mean it should happen again.
I know, I agree, but when he chokes early season, whatever. Right. It's good to know he's dialed in. He was shot well for the first 3 tournaments, so he's dialed in. He's going to be able to get back out there. He's going to win some tournaments this year, from what I saw. Henley, a little up and coming, really hasn't made his mark yet. It's just a win. Anyone can win on tour any given week, but Rory, he'll be back. He's dialing in.
All right.
He just choked.
You guys are golf experts. I trust you on that one.
The offseason in the NFL is commencing, and teams are trying to reach deals with their key players. What's more concerning for you guys if you're an NFL fan? Sam Shields not signing with the Packers or Jairus Byrd not reaching an extension with the Buffalo Bills?
Well, the Buffalo Bills offered Jairus Byrd 3 years, $30 million. and he didn't take it. So he either is way too full of himself or he'll take less money to win, because who doesn't take that?
And not to stereotype an NFL, your stereotypical NFL player is not going to take less money to win, especially him. He's a young player. He's a little too full of himself. Now, granted, he's a great defensive player. He's a great cornerback. He led the AFC in interception twice in his young career. He has 22 career interceptions. Great player. But this early in your career, how do you turn down 3 years, $30 million? That's a slap in the face to an organization. Yeah. And the Bills need him too.
Now I don't want him.
Bills.
After that, I don't want him.
You heard it here first. Bills don't need him. So I guess maybe give him a call, tell him not to take him. Dan.
A couple new jerseys have been unveiled for 2 different sports. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a new jersey for next season, and so does the United States soccer team. Blaze, Adam, which jersey is more of your style?
All right, well, I think when I look at this one, do I like the Bucs uniforms? Not really. They look a lot like the Under Armour All-America jerseys, honestly, some college football uniforms. One of the new uniforms that Oregon rolls out week after week. I personally have a sense of fashion, so I wouldn't be caught dead in one. But the USA jerseys, they're like plain, boring,
Polo
white.
shirts. We're trying to be too European.
Yeah,
I think.
Are we going back to the 30s here?
Trying to be European. They have a collar and everything.
And there's no design, it's just.
And with the I don't like either. I don't like either. With the Bucks, Nike just came out with brand new jerseys for all teams, basically. They
so
were
what's
still
more,
the same.
both?
So now they have to make new jerseys 2 years later to put some more ticket sales, some more people in the seats, some more jerseys.
People are going to buy them, though. It's a money play. It's all about this.
I don't know.
All about that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, with just a minute to go, we're coming down to the wire. The Miami Dolphins re-signed Grimes. Good move?
He's a good player. I like the signing, but he's 30 years old. 4-year deal? Really? The Sacramento Fighting Jimmers will officially have to find and change their name, as Jimmer Fredette was signed with Chicago. You like this move for the Bulls, Adam?
What do you average, like 5 points a game? Who cares? Duke UNC, round 2. Who you got?
UNC's on a 12-game winning streak. I wouldn't mess with them right now, but Duke's looking for revenge. I like the Blue Devils to go in and steal it.
Hey, they're top 5 in the country now. I think Syracuse.
All right, Adam. Finals rematch from the NBA. San Antonio Spurs, Miami Heat. Who you got, big boy?
Well, Bron had 60-plus tonight, but the big fundamental, he rested today. Parker's back. They're coming back. Spurs taking down the Heat.
I love the Spurs Heat series, man.
Yeah.
Those are really something special. Definitely something entertainment to watch. Danny, fingers crossed we didn't mess anything up.
Blaze, Buff State woman only came into Oswego with 3 losses, not 4. That's all I got.
All right. 3 losses or 3 wins? 3 losses or
3 wins.
3 wins. Oh,
3 wins. There were 3 losses.
They would have been great.
Yeah. So the expert of the mistakes had a mistake. I feel a little bit better about myself now. All right.
That was a mistake calling my tie not as attractive as Blaze's either.
Oh, man.
This is a solid.
What are you watching
French sewn tie.
I don't think it's French
sewn tie.
I don't think Calvin Klein is French.
J.C. Penney.
That's not French. All right. So what do you watch for this week?
Well, Duke UNC, obviously, some good NBA and
Miami, San Antonio, and finishing up the college basketball season. Conference tournament start next week. Selection Sunday on the horizon. March Madness coming up.
I've been following the professional bowling league.
Really?
It's like
PBA?
there's a tournament. Yeah, it's getting real.
Are you any good?
ESPN 2, Saturday mornings, 8 to 10.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. All right. Well, that's all the time we got here for OSU. We'll try to do better next time. So tune in next week, same time, same place, for more of the best Oswego sports banter around.
Until then, for Blaze Hill, Matt Bishop, Josh Kay, and everyone here at OSU, have a good night, Lakers.
Have a great night. Go Lakers.